Hi, I'm Maureen Dobransky. This is Life Starts at Retirement. Today, I'm beginning a series of 4 weeks exploring the fascinating journey of couples in various stages of retirement or being close to retirement. You know, retirement really is such a significant milestone, and every stage of it comes with different and diverse paths and thoughts and emotions and feelings that people take as they enter and then go through those stages. And there's so many things to consider when you retire, so many emotions we go through, so many ups, so many downs. So this week, I'm going to share with you the conversations I've had with some people that I've talked to in their 50s and not yet retired. And then next week, I'll share the conversations of people in their 60s, and then the week after in their 70s, and finally in their 80s. And it's been really interesting to hear what their worries are, what their fun is, what their concerns are. So let's get started. And now all names have been changed just because. So first of all, I talked to a couple named Sarah and Michael, a couple who have been together for over 3 decades. They're in their early 50s, and they find themselves thinking more and more about the prospect of retirement. They've been through a lot over their 30-ish years together, many ups, many downs, but in the end, they've come through it all and they built a life together. And now, with retirement on the horizon, they're getting pretty excited to explore new adventures, rediscover the world beyond their careers. Then I talked with Lisa and James. Now, this couple's in their mid-50s, and James has always been the one with the career, and Lisa has dedicated her life to raising her children. And they're not only now exploring the idea of retirement, but they're also becoming empty nesters, and so there's many exciting and yet concerning thoughts going through their heads. Retirement for them symbolizes a chance to strengthen their bond together and then embark on a new chapter filled with passion, fun, life, and experiences. And then finally, I talked with Richard and Evelyn, a couple in their late 50s. Now, this couple's only been married for 8 years, and it's a second marriage for both of them. They're excited as well, but they're nervous about this next stage just because of the history with the divorces, etc. So I'll start now with the common themes of what all 3 couples were concerned about. And this is a theme you're going to hear over and over and over and over again as we go through these next 4 weeks. The first thing out of their mouth was financial stability. Overwhelmingly, that's the top concern, whether they've saved enough to maintain their desired lifestyle throughout their whole retirement to the end, to their death. And every single couple was worried about outliving their savings, and then now, especially, the potential impact that inflation has on their purchasing power and their lifestyle. And then when I look online, this lines up completely with the far majority of Canadians and Americans. Market volatility is also top on their minds, what's going to happen, and they all indicated they were somewhat nervous with what's happening in the world and the markets, and they would just love some stability. And then another common theme in this sort of financial stability thought was as they age and as they get closer and closer to retirement, they think more and more and more about money. So I've grouped this common theme to also, I've grouped in this also things about government benefits. They want to make sure they're available. Things like that, all financial stability. They want to ensure that their sources of income are there when they need them to retire in the lifestyle that they want. The next common theme was healthcare. And this is interesting because for the Americans that I talked to, it was mainly about having adequate health insurance and coverage at a cost they could afford when they retired. It was more of a financial concern. But as for the Canadians I talked to about healthcare, it was still right close to the top of the list, but it was more an access and an availability concern. So I'm a Canadian, I can completely understand that. And here's the example. Richard had a bad shoulder, and it was recommended that he get it replaced. It took him over 18 months of waiting, of concern, before he finally had the surgery. And so although the surgery was covered, and there was really no out-of-pocket money, their lifestyle, their activity, his quality of life was affected by what I've put in there as health care. So The rising costs of healthcare and the accessibility of healthcare were the second most common theme for people at this stage. And grouped in this one was also the potential need for long-term care, but honestly, it was more of a passing thought. Yeah, and someday we're also going to need long-term care. So it really wasn't a big worry, but it was a thought in their minds. The last concern I'll bring up with this group was one that I call identity and purpose. So many people in this group of people that I talked to were at the top of their career. They had worked hard to get there and they identified with their titles. They're the CEO, they're the manager, they are their titles. And I can relate to that when I was working. So they're concerned with letting that go for a few reasons, including, of course, their identity, but they're also at the top of their pay scale. So how can they give that up and take money out of their retirement funds instead of contributing? I can relate to that. And then last, they were concerned with what they would do with all of their time. So what would they do? Now, having said that, this brought up some positive common themes. The main one I heard over and over again is what I'll call, again, identity and purpose. So many of them kept thinking, oh, we're going to have freedom, we're going to have flexibility. I don't have to get up unless I want to. I can do the things I've always dreamed about. I can travel, we can go on adventures. They got really excited and animated, talking about what they wanted to do, what they wanted to accomplish, the places they would go. Again, there was a concern about whether or not they would feel fulfilled without a job or a purpose. So although there's that excitement and that anticipation, there's also that concern and that worry. Excuse me. The next common theme on the positive side that I heard was the ability to finally relax and let go of the stress. The prospect of a more relaxed lifestyle and reduced stress was a common source of excitement. They're excited that they can focus on themselves, their overall well-being. Just some downtime, which leads me to the last common theme. And again, it's health related. And I would say that 95% of them mentioned that they plan to get in better shape, lose weight, exercise more, take their health more seriously once they retire. They really were excited about the chance to focus on their personal health and well-being. And it was really exciting, and they were looking forward to that factor. So those are the common concerns and the common positive anticipations, I guess, for those that I talked to in their 50s about retirement. Yet none of them had been retired yet, but it was their common concerns and their common excitement. And now it's very interesting over the next 4 weeks how this changes as the aging process and as they are more and more retired for longer and longer. So next week, I'll share with you some thoughts of those in their 60s. I'm Maureen Dabrowski. This is Life Starts at Retirement. I produce a retirement lifestyle video every Saturday at noon.